And guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for this review of this week's episode of SmackDown Live, the December 12th, 2017 edition of SmackDown Live. We're now 13 days away from Christmas. Um, Again, just time keeps flying by, and this is the SmackDown Live edition for WWE Week. Tomorrow night we got NXT on commercial television for the first time on USA Network at 7 o'clock. That should be pretty good. And then we have Tribute to the Troops on Thursday, just those plugs for that stuff this week as well. So this week's episode of SmackDown Live was a go-home show for Clash of Champions. Overall, it was an all right show. I mean, there's some things like looking at it first, you'd think, that wasn't really that good, which most of the stuff wasn't really that great. But some of the stuff like, yeah, it was all right. It's acceptable. An interesting little twist added to one of the matches also we got tonight for the Clash of Champions pay-per-view as well, which, of course, I'll talk about that a little bit here. But also, I want to save some of my thoughts for this week's edition, this month's edition for Top 10 Topics, which I will probably film tonight, and I'll probably upload it sometime tomorrow during the day. I've just been trying to, again, just get a lot of stuff done around here, around the house with, the holidays coming up, and I'm trying to get as much with my job done as I can before then. And plus, I have my sister coming home, my family get-togethers coming up soon as well. So, just preparing for all that. So just, be patient with me if my content comes to my channel within the next couple weeks leading up to the holiday. But just focus on this episode of SmackDown Live. Let's get right into it. We kicked off with a backstage segment of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn handing out these flyers. They're advertising the Yep movement. They're wearing Daniel Bryan T-shirts that say that have P's covering the S's. So pretty much saying the Yep movement, pretty much. So I'm like, okay, it's not too bad. Pass out these flyers, those being against Shane McMahon, pretty much. Robbie in the live chat saying NXT tomorrow night, Aleister Black taking on Adam Cole, baby. Yes, I'm definitely very excited for that match. A great match to be having on the first commercial edition of NXT. That should be pretty awesome. And then they keep giving away more flyers, and they're talking about how they're going to occupy SmackDown. They're trying to, pretty much just repeat Daniel Bryan, pretty much. So we'll see how that went on later on tonight. Occupy SmackDown. Then we have AJ Styles make his entrance, welcoming us, of course, to SmackDown Live, the house that AJ Styles built. He says he's normally cool and collected, but he can't eat, he can't sleep. All he can think about is defending that title on Sunday. And he doesn't want to lose it when he finally got back. And that's probably how Jinder Mahal feels. Well, he felt. But what is good as being a champion if you're not a fighting champion? So he's pretty much saying, how he will defend the title. He's not going to, he's mentioned how, Jinder has done anything he can to retain the title as well. A Punjabi prison match, the Great Khali, which I'm like, AJ, I love you, but please don't remind me of that match. Please don't remind me of that return. We do not say that. It already made the list. And then he's talking about also, the Singh brothers have been helping him out. He says he knows that Jinder's going to do everything he can to, retain the title. He says, but of course, he's going to, do it the right way and defend it. But then he's interrupted by the Singh brothers. They apologize for the interruption. He's like, we usually induce Jinder, but not tonight. And they showed what happened last week when Jinder attacked the Singh brothers. 2 weeks ago, Jinder attacked the Singh brothers after they lost to AJ Styles in a 2-on-1 handicap match. And AJ's taking up for them. He's like, you know what? Come here, guys. That was pretty cool. Robbie in live chat says SmackDown Live, the house that AJ Styles built, where he beat up John Cena. Yep, got that right, Robbie. AJ's like, that was kind of cruel of Jinder to do. I feel sorry for you. He says, come down here, we'll hug it out. So this was kind of entertaining in some ways. The same brothers about to hug each other, and Styles like, come on, get down here. So he gets each of them a hug, and like, oh, thank you for your support. He says, we're out here because we want to tell him on Sunday that we want to be in your corner in your match. And they said, as far as we're concerned, because of what happened with Jinder last 2 weeks ago, you're going to be wrestling. Jinder's going to be wrestling alone. And they're done with him. So they're talking about how he lost that he disgraced 1.3 billion Americans. How he lost he didn't say it, but he lost to Triple H on the India tour. Um, um, and I lost my train of thought now. Dang it. But he lost to Triple H to the India tour, and pretty much just saying how and it's saying how that he got to have first class travel, he got to do this, and that, blah blah blah, and then just whatever, all that. So how he got all that, and talk about how his feet smell like cheese and garlic mixed with buttered chicken. So so they have to kiss the feet of the Monday Maharaj, as you remember. But he says, well, I'm willing to take up your offer. The only thing is why were you with him on the India tour? They showed photos from the tour in India, and they were right in his corner, and he pretty much just catches him red-handed, as it was obvious the setup that the same brothers was trying to get in the corner of AJ Styles, so that way they could help Jinder win. To tell you it makes no sense at all. Well, unless it was just a ruse with Jinder sacrificing the same brothers for this, but Jinder comes out, and then he's like, Styles is like, I know what's going on here. These two dingleberries are trying to come down here to convince me that they don't work for you anymore. Yeah, right. But he likes one thing they said though. They're going to fight one-on-one, and they were right. And then he just beats down on the Singh brothers, and yeah, pretty much that. For the most part, it was, entertaining for the most part, this segment. But the match itself on Sunday, just get us over with and get Jinder out of that main event picture. Please, begging you. You want to put him in a big card run? Sure, I don't care. But the main event picture, not for a long, long time. Please. The India tour is over. Just end this push already. But that was that. We then have a match next. It was Charlotte Flair taking on Ruby Riott, 2 T's, remember, even though her Twitter name only has 1 T. This match was all right, nothing special. We had Natalya on commentary, pretty much just being questioned, as it's obvious Natalya is just sucking up to all the lumberjacks in the lumberjack match this Sunday. Well, I'm sorry, it should be lumberjills. They keep calling it a lumberjack match. But almost all the lumberjacks except for one, Naomi, are heels. Naomi's the only babyface in this lumberjacks. So yeah, it's just the Riot Squad at ringside. Natty's just sucking up to them because she doesn't want to get beat down by them, but they want them to help her win the championship back, which probably won't be happening. Which is gonna be a big brawl breaking out. But the match ends whenever Charlotte is attacked. I think it was Liv Morgan. I think it was. And then Natty, or was it when Natty hit Charlotte? Yeah, I think it was when Natty hit Charlotte with the clothesline, and then Natty just stood there and watched them just beat them all down, just saying her plan's working, how they're gonna hate on Charlotte and whatnot. The Riot Squad were just about to do the thing they did with Naomi. They put Charlotte underneath the steel steps. They're going pull her up or whatever it was. Can't remember what exactly it was they did. But then Naomi returned for the first time in 2 weeks and came out, and she had a double drop kick on Logan and Morgan, and she had a nice vicious beatdown on Ruby Riott. So it looked like Natty's like, oh crap, my plan's not working right now. But they got even worse when they the Riot Squad started walking up the ramp, and then from behind, the other Lumberjills attacked. Carmella, Tamina, and Lana attacked them from behind also briefly. So I'm sorry. I just, again, this whole thing with the Riot Squad, first off, I like all 3 of the women, but this whole concept is just, they're just literally copying everything that Absolution does. If they were a part of Absolution, just take it over on SmackDown, because it would make sense. Paige trying to make a name for herself in the whole brand of WWE, not just Raw, on SmackDown, then cool. But these are just 3 women who are literally just copying everything Absolution does, but they're not together. And then just again, almost everybody except for Naomi and of course Charlotte are heels in women's division. There is no depth at all. So it's like, them two versus the world we're going to be getting. You know, last week we had the Lumberjills, you know, face off with each other. You know, I thought we were going to get the big beatdown between them. But instead, we got just Sarah Logan and Tamina. I thought we were going to get Sarah Logan and Tamina tonight on SmackDown. We didn't get that, thank goodness. But I don't know. I can see this match on Sunday. This Lumberjack match being just a hot mess. It's not going to go too well. I don't think it's going to happen. It's not. I mean, I don't know. The thing is also is, you know, the Riot Squad, they're after everybody, not just, you know, a specific person. They're after everybody. So it's probably not going to be a good opportunity for Carmella to cash in her contract, or she called it last week, Frankie. So you can roll that out. I don't know. That's just what happened there. But this is going to be a mess. What's also, I think, going to be a mess because I just don't understand this. Well, first, before we get to the match, backstage, we have Daniel Bryan on the phone with Shane McMahon, who apparently wasn't there tonight, and he's telling Shane everything is under control, and he'll be on commentary in the main event to keep an eye on things. And then KO and Sammy come out of nowhere, leave him a flyer, the flyer of, you know, the Shane McMahon flyer they were walking around with. So he says, Shane, can I call you back? Hangs up and looks at the flyer as, you know, goes to commercial break. Then his next match, again, this is another match that I don't understand why it's happening. Well, two of them, okay, but three people in this match, I don't get it. And this match is another waste of time, filler time. I just don't get it. So there was which I can't say it's completely pointless because, you know, one person who's got the upper hand on the two guys who have been, you know, thorns in his side got the upper hand, but still, I just don't understand like why this match is taking place at Clash of Champions. So we have Bobby Roode on commentary, which made the commentary table briefly glorious. So he came out with commentary, and it was a match between Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler. Again, why is Dolph in this U.S. title match this Sunday? Why isn't it just Corbin and Bobby Roode? Maybe they're having Dolph take the pin for whoever wins the match. I don't know. Somebody's obviously being very well protected in this match. You know, we want to be getting the same thing next month if we do Kane and Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar triple threat for the Universal Championship. I'm not going to be excited about that match. No way, Jose. So we had but this match between Corbin and Ziggler went for like 2 seconds, and Bobby just gets up, walks into the ring, and just DDTs the both of them. That's it. That was it. So again, that felt pointless. And again, this, you know, they could have just kept it just, you know, Corbin and Roode, but nope, got to throw Dolph in there. Why? I don't get it. But that was that. Then we had we get a clip from the Fashion Files, which apparently had a segment that was shown just on the WWE Network. Didn't show the whole thing. Where it's the Ascension, which apparently, you know, again, actually, you know, I probably should watch it again, but I don't feel like it. How the Ascension escaped from this gas or whatever that happened 2 weeks ago. They were supposed to, show the next part last week, but they didn't do that because, once again, they lied. WWE just lies and just ruins the Fashion File segments. But apparently, it's long story short, you know, the Ascension and Breezango are talking, and then Breezango challenges the Bludgeon Brothers, which, you know, at this point, just say it was the Bludgeon Brothers who attacked the Office and just end this whole storyline. It's just dragging, getting boring, went up, and I'm going that rant. But speaking of which, so it's official. Next week, we're going to have a match between, well, not next week. On Sunday, we're going to have a match. I think it's on the main show, actually. The Bludgeon Brothers and Breezango. It's also announced on the pre-show. We're going to have Zack Ryder taking on Mojo Rawley on the pre-show, actually. It was announced that, too, but that's that. We had the Bludgeon Brothers squashing Colin Delaney and Juan Francisco de Coronado, whatever the heck those names are, just two local athletes that the Bludgeon Brothers just crushed. Again, I continue to love that theme song. You know, I'm slowly more and more becoming a fan of these guys. Again, when it first debuted, I'm like, I just don't want them to be just, you know, just the Wyatt family again and just, you know, different outfits. I think this is going good so far. So I look forward to seeing them take on Breezango this Sunday at Clash of Champions. And then we had the attempt by Kevin Owens and I almost said Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, part of the Yep movement, to occupy SmackDown. They begin by saying the Yep movement has arrived, and Sammy's saying, "Oh, it's surreal about this energy and whatnot. The entire WWE universe is finally standing side by side with them against the WWE management, as they stand united in the name of change." He says management finally took things one step too far and rolls footage of what happened last week with KO getting handcuffed to the ropes, and then also the fact that that Shane made himself the special guest referee for their match this Sunday. KO says, "You think Stephanie and Vince are ruthless, but after being on SmackDown for 9 months, they agree that Shane is the worst of them all. Not only did they handcuff KO to the ropes like a criminal, they make himself special guest referee. A stipulation: if they lose, they get fired from the entire WWE. It's Shane's on about a madman on a rage bender, trying to humiliate them and get them to lose their jobs because he couldn't defend his family's honor at Hell in a Cell. It's time to show this business is bigger than the McMahon and his family's honor, because it's time to fill the ring and occupy SmackDown Live, and they're waiting for people to come out. No one's coming out. All of a sudden, Daniel Bryan just stands there. I don't know if this was a botch, if he did this on purpose, but he just stands there, and his music starts playing, and then he starts yesing down the ramp. And then Owens and Sammy welcomes him, and they say, "Oh, you inspired the Yep movement." They thought they get hundreds of people, but it doesn't matter. We have Daniel Bryan, because they're just sucking up to the general manager. And Bryan asks them, "What are you guys doing?" And Sammy says that they're doing exactly what they're doing. They're saying you're inspired the Yep move based off of your Yes movement. It's talking about how they've been treated unfairly, just like he was treated back in his wrestling days as well. But Bryan says, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The Yes movement was never about him. It was about, what the fans wanted, and what they deserved. And then Sam and Kay like, "Yeah, okay, we agree with you on that." He says, "But the Yep movement is about what they deserve." He says, and they asked Dan Bryan, "You've been drinking Shane's Kool-Aid," talks about how he clearly wants to screw them at Clash of Champions. And he says, just like you, Dan, we've worked for years and years on the indies, and, we've had a lot of obstacles to overcome. Do you want, and we don't want a ruthless tyrant to be taking that away from us. And Bryan says that he and Shane have an agreement that they have each other's backs, and despite all of what they've said, he still recognizes their talent. And he says he knows, and pretty much he knows, saying that, Bryan didn't say that, he's kind of implying that he knows, he is concerned, as he said last week, that, sometimes Shane's anger can get the best of him when situations come across. So he claims to make sure that the match is called fair, right down the middle, and that Shane doesn't purposely try to get KO and Sammy to lose. He's going to add himself into the match. That way there are 2 special guest referees. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon will both be the special guest referee for the match, where I think should probably be in the main event. The tag match between Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And again, if Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens lose, they are fired from the entire WWE. Bryan named himself special guest referee, which the second special guest referee. There's 2 referees in this match, so this is going to be very interesting. But we'll get to more on that also towards the end of the video, because it wasn't it for this. We then had a match. It was Aiden English, also known as Rusev Day, taking on the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. Before the match, we had some commentary segments. We had Aiden English continuing the 12 Days of Rusev song, starting with the 8th day, 8 Aiden songs, 7 boards of breaking, 6 Mashka kicks, 5 Plowdive keys, 4 of the lads, 3 unhindered gingers, 2 Rusev shirts, and a massive win over the New Day. Then the Usos come in and they talk about how Rusev Day is on the naughty list, but say they weren't on Santa landed on their roof. What kind of presents would he bring? Singing lessons, a toupee, a new tag team partner, a tan. But at Clash of Champions, it ain't about New Day, it ain't about Rusev Day, and it is about that day one-ish. But then here comes Shelton Gable and Chad Benjamin, which I think this segment probably kind of said, okay, they're probably more so heels, but I don't think I'm going to do a turn alert on them now because it's too late. They come out and yes, Robbie, 12 days of Rusev. Welcome to Rusev Day. So I'll give him credit. I actually kind of enjoyed this part with Gable and Benjamin. And Gable says, like, I'm sick of days. They're for the weak, which is what they all are. And Shelton Benjamin says, the only day that matters is Sunday because they're coming to collect those titles and King Kong ain't got ish on them. Gable says that's training day and they'll train them like dogs and get pinned and bring the titles to their masters as and then my favorite part was when Chad goes, Chad Gable, and Benjamin goes, and Shelton Benjamin. So I'll give him credit. Like I remember the first time when the feud between Gable and Benjamin taking on just the Usos, building up before whoever's going to face the Raw Tag Team Champions at Survivor Series. I remember the first rap they tried doing on the Usos. I'm like, it wasn't really too good. It wasn't too impressed. But this one, I'll give it to them. I enjoyed it, especially that ending with Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. I kind of enjoyed that. But then Gable, New Day were on commentary eating pancakes. Gable and Benjamin stayed up the ramp. So we had Aiden English and Rusev taking on the Usos. The match wasn't too bad. But then the surprise though is Rusev and Aiden English won. I believe it was a clean victory also. I know one of the Usos got taken out at ringside, but then Aiden English was able to hit the director's cut on Jimmy Uso to get the victory. So, well, surprised, but all right, gives Rusev Day some momentum going into I don't want to call them Rusev Day. Gives them some momentum going into the match Sunday. That fatal 4-way tag match, I'm very excited about. That's probably the match I'm interested in what happens in the main event. But the match I'm like really excited about would probably have to be the fatal 4-way. The match between Gable and Benjamin, the Usos, New Day, and Rusev Day. I don't want to say that, but some fresh tag teams. So I think this could be a good match. But again, I'm surprised to see Rusev Day winning. I'm like, all right, let's see what happens Sunday. And then backstage we have AJ Styles being interviewed, and he says the Sings weren't fooling him, and he doesn't need anyone's help to beat Jinder. But then Jinder comes out of nowhere and attacks him, and he just says, you'll not beat the odds on Sunday, blah blah blah. So whatever, Jinder, you're going to lose Sunday. You better not get the title back because you don't deserve it. Because you lost Triple H on your own tour in India that was made for you, but it did not happen. You lost. Robbie in the comment section says, New Day pancakes. Don't be surprised if WWE and Eggo ends up releasing that in grocery stores. Hey, I'll take some New Day pancakes. Just don't have an awkward catchphrase like New Day pops, a mouthful of magic you just gotta have. I still find that kind of awkward. Bootios, I haven't got any Bootios yet, but I'm not much of a cereal person, but maybe for the heck of it one day I'll get a box of Bootios just to try them. Then before the main event, we had Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura come out to the ring and be interviewed, just asking about Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon being special guest referees on Sunday. And Orton did most of the talking and just said he can't speak to their motivations on that, but he can speak to his own, and it's quite simple. He doesn't like Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens. They're obnoxious and self-entitled, and on Sunday, they're going to do everyone a favor and make sure those two idiots lose their jobs. And all Shinsuke was asked was, do you agree with Randy's words? And he goes, yep. I don't know if that's just, they just didn't want to have Shinsuke talk much, or if they're just mocking Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn earlier, and just going, yep. So then we had the main event, with Daniel Bryan joining on commentary. Kevin Owens taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. In a decent match. The match wasn't too bad. Solid main event. I know if you put these guys on pay-per-view, they could probably have an even better match, just them one-on-one. You know, we had just some good spots in there as well. Sammy didn't really interfere too much in the match, but you can tell he was still eyeing up Daniel Bryan, still sucking up to him as he feels he can because he's close with Daniel Bryan. But the interesting part comes where the referee got hit, and when that happened, when he went down, Daniel Bryan got up and he took off the referee's shirt and put the referee's shirt on him as well as on him. So he gets into the ring and just, you know, officiates the match, showing that he's going to call it down the middle. Just whatever happens, happens. Sami Zayn did try to get involved in the match, but then Orton came in and interfered to get him out of the match, but Bryan let it go. He's like, anything goes pretty much, you know. He wasn't being biased towards anything. He didn't help Sami or Kevin win, but to surprise, Owens hit the pop-up powerbomb, though, on Nakamura based on the distraction from from Zayn and Orton getting involved in the match. And Owens hit the pop-up powerbomb, and he beat Shinsuke Nakamura. And they had a little interview saying, you know, they're going to win on Sunday and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, very interesting. I don't know what to expect from this main event. I mean, I know we've seen the match how many times, but with Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan being special guest referees, it's making me wonder, you know, what's going to happen here? Like, is something going to happen with, you know, is Randy Orton going to be one turning heel, or is it going to be Shane McMahon turn heel? Is Daniel Bryan going to turn heel, whatnot? It's confusing. I'll talk about it a little more in my top 10 topics show. Again, I will record after I do this review, and then I'll get it uploaded probably sometime tomorrow. But yeah, guys, that is it. That is it for this live review of SmackDown Live. Before, as always, let me check my Twitter polls. Robbie, thank you for joining me in the live chat as well. Let's check out my polls for this week's episode of SmackDown and for the other one as well. Just 3 votes. What grade would you give this week's episode of SmackDown Live? Only 3 votes. 33% said B and 67% said C. And then which show did you enjoy more this week, Raw or SmackDown Live? 3 votes, and all of them said SmackDown Live. So me, it was tough. I forgot to reveal my grade for Raw last night in my Raw review, but I gave that a B- for Raw. SmackDown, I was close to giving it a C+, but the stuff with Daniel Bryan and Adam Silver, a special guest referee, I don't expect like that much from Clash of Champions this Sunday, but that was interesting as well. Most of your stuff was just okay. It's like, you know, whatever, but it wasn't really like, you know, like a little bit more above average. It was tough for me to decide, but I think it kind of got me a little bit more interested in Clash of Champions for some of the stuff taking place. Well, mainly just with the match, probably be the main event. Nakamura and Owens taking on KO and Sammy with Shane and Bryan as the special guest referees. So I'll be a little more lenient since it was a decent go home show. Give it a B-. And I think I'll give the edge to SmackDown this week for which show I enjoy more. So that's what I'll give there. What are your thoughts in the comments and your thoughts on this episode of SmackDown Live? Please leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And as always, be sure to click that like and subscribe for more content to come to this channel. And again, things to come. Again, I'm going to hopefully try to get floors 8 to 10 done for Hitler Strikes Back tonight, maybe more if I have time. I'm going to, again, review NXT Live tomorrow. I will have top 10 topics available as well. I'll record it tonight, do the editing, and then probably let it export overnight, and I'll upload it sometime tomorrow during the day. As far as Clash of Champions, again, either I'll do a live review here, or I might be joining my friend Daniel Gaiza live for his review this Sunday after Clash of Champions. And then, of course, my Raw, SmackDown, NXT reviews next week as well. And also, want to give a plug out for this next week. As of now, we don't have an official time yet, but should be happening December 19th next week on Daniel Gaiza's channel. It'll be the end of the year awards video. It'll be myself and my Horseman brothers, Daniel Gaiza, Rywan Kenobi, and Gene from BFT Wrestling Show. We're going to have a great time. We had a blast doing this last year. We're going to 30 in a row again. I was looking forward to this. I got my notes. I'm ready, willing, and Gable for that show. So again, thank you guys for tuning in to this live review. I am checking out, and until then, have a good night.